A lot of people in the Hytale community have recently been discussing whether or not Hytale should be free-to-play or pay-to-play. Today, I want to go over my reasons for why I think a pay-to-play model would work much better than a free-to-play model. But before I start, if you guys enjoy this kind of content, be sure to leave a like and a comment down below. Be sure to subscribe to the channel and turn that notifications bell on so that you get notified after every single upload. Again, you can expect to see much more Hytale content on my channel as we get closer and closer to launch, so be sure to subscribe to keep yourself updated on the latest and greatest Hytale news and discussion. With all that said, why do I think that Hytale should be free to play? Well, to discern that, we should first look into the pros and cons of either option, starting, I guess, with the free-to-play option. Free-to-play games are known for their accessibility, and they thrive off of it. Their lack of required payment to play the game means that literally anyone with a PC or Mac could just download Hytale and try it out risk-free, with no worries about losing their money. This, of course, means that Hytale's player base would expand rapidly as more and more players would flock to the game out of interest, especially with the amount of coverage that it's garnered over the past 3 years. Another thing working in the game's benefit is the mere existence of Minecraft. Hytale is, of course, Minecraft's spiritual successor, and it doesn't take a genius to figure out that the two games are very similar. If Hytale went free to play, this would mean that there are two very similar games on the market, one of which, Hytale, is free, the other of which, Minecraft, is not. This means that a lot of people who maybe wanted Minecraft but didn't want to spend money on it would then download Hytale instead because it's the free to play option. Furthermore, players that wanted to transfer from Minecraft to Hytale would have a lot easier of a time doing that since it's free. This does, however, beg the question, if Hytale goes free to play, how will Hypixel Studios make money? The answer is simple: microtransactions. If Hytale goes free to play, the devs will effectively be forced to implement microtransactions of some kind. While we don't know for sure how these could be implemented, it's reasonable to assume that they'll be mostly cosmetic with the possibility of paid roles and other things for servers. We can also maybe see servers themselves being paid, meaning that players would have to actually pay money to run a private server. While microtransactions aren't the worst thing in the world, here's why I don't think they'll work well for Hytale. To start, Hytale's modding capabilities means that there wouldn't really be anything that players couldn't just mod into the game. As the devs are releasing their game development tools with the game at launch, players would essentially be able to replicate any form of cosmetic DLC that the devs sold to the public, thus completely undermining the devs' efforts to make any money in that way. This would, in turn, force them to add microtransactions to things that players can't alter in order to circumvent this, which means we'll probably be seeing much more paid server content and the possibility of actually having to pay to run servers in the first place. While I'm no fortune teller, I'm pretty firm in my beliefs that this wouldn't go over very well with the players. In short, it would mean that the servers would be flooded with walls of microtransactions in order for the devs to make money, and the online experience would turn into a landscape of ads comparable more to a mobile game than anything else. If they make servers themselves paid, however, that would mean that to play with your friends in a private world, you would have to either make a one-time or monthly fee payment to do so, which I don't think anyone would like. In other words, if the game was free to play, people would care a lot less about how the game was monetized. For players, microtransactions won't be a huge issue if the game is free to play, as they didn't spend any money on the base game to begin with. Even if they absolutely hated the monetization scheme, they could just uninstall the game and they would have lost nothing, as, again, the game would have been free to begin with, and they have no real incentive if they don't like the monetization scheme to actually pay for any of the DLC content. If Hytale was pay-to-play, however, there would be significantly more backlash against the developers if they added exploitative, unnecessary, or just outright annoying microtransactions into the game, as the players would feel they were cheated since they're being charged extra for a game they already paid for. This would, to an extent, increase the risk for players, as the entry price to the game means that uninstalling it or choosing not to play it anymore has monetary consequences to them. In other words, the players would be legitimately losing something if the devs didn't implement good monetization schemes. I believe this is the better option, as the risk that the players feel in investing their money and time into Hytale would be shared mutually by the developers. The developers would be forced to be extra careful to add enjoyable monetization schemes into the game so as to keep the players happy and engaged with the game. All in all, I see a pay-to-play model working out much better for Hytale in the long run, as it provides significantly less breathing room for microtransactions than a free-to-play model. The developers would be legitimately risking something in every implementation of a monetization scheme or every implementation of microtransactions, which would keep them on their toes to keep players happy. A free-to-play model, on the other hand, could, in theory, allow the devs to add any sort of monetization scheme that they want into the game with little to no consequences, which I, of course, see as being bad for both the players and the community as a whole. As such, I believe that a pay-to-play model is the best business model for Hytale. With that said, I hope you guys enjoyed the video, and be sure to let me know your thoughts in the comments down below. Tell me, do you think Hytale should be free-to-play or pay-to-play, and why? Do you agree with my reasoning, or do you think that I'm wrong about something? Either way, I'd love to see your thoughts below, and rest assured I read every single comment and I really enjoy everything that you guys have to say. Also, while you're at it, be sure to like the video, as it helps out a lot, and if you're not subscribed already, be sure to do that now and hit that notifications bell so that you get notified after every single upload. This is looking to be a crazy year for Hytale as we get ever closer to its release date. We know it's coming out this year, but we don't exactly know when yet. But if you saw my video on when it's likely releasing, you know we can expect some major announcements soon. Fingers crossed for a second trailer. So you're definitely going to want to stick around for that to get the latest and greatest news and updates on the game. I'm also planning on streaming the game over on my Twitch, link in description if you want to check that out. In the meantime, however, I'll just be streaming whatever I'm playing at the time. I go live every Friday night, starting around 8 to 9 p.m. EST. So be sure to tune in and say hi. I love seeing people in my chat, and it's always a blast to talk to you guys. So, I hope you guys enjoyed today's video, and I will see you in the next one.